Hey everybody, and welcome to David Christopher's. I'm Jen.
I'm David.
And we are here today to show you one of our new products that we just got like 3,000
We got a bunch of them.
bunches of. And it's actually a product that you may think is not necessarily in season in the month of June. However, David has a different idea for this.
Yeah, so a lot of times people think of pine as strictly Christmas. And while that's true, they are an evergreen, so they are green during the holiday season and during winter. The problem is they're green the rest of the year too. So
They get kind of overlooked.
And here in the South, we have lots of pine trees usually. And we'll actually use pine as a base, and we'll use it as decor for other seasons sometimes, especially if you got like a lake house or something like that, a cabin. A lot of times people have like a hunting lodge or something that they go to. We use a lot of pine for that. But there are a lot of different types of pine trees, but this one we're going to use as kind of an everyday base. We're going to make a wreath out of this pine spray. So I've got my Grapevine Wreath up here. We're going to make a wreath out of pine spray, and then we're going to show you some options of other things that you can do to make it look great.
Remember to check out the description box because I'm going to list all the things that David is using today in the description box. You can visit us online at davidchristopher's.com. You can find these items wholesale or retail. So we do both. We sell to whether you're a wholesale customer or a retail customer. We've got you covered. Check us out at davidchristopher's.com and let's get started. David has the electric skillet glue pan heating up. You can buy an electric skillet wherever electric skillets are sold. And we sell glue chips by the pound that you can melt in your skillet for your DIY projects.
Like this one. So the first thing we're going to do is your pine is going to come, rather scrunched up here for shipping purposes. We put it in the smallest box as possible. And then you're going to want to shape this, pull all of the branches out so it looks like the big, incredible thing that it is. And it's got several different types of pine. So there's a couple of options. I can just put my pine in the wreath. If I want it a little bit thicker, I can leave it all in one piece, or I can cut it. And usually I would cut it like right here, so that I have the option. And I'm going to cut a couple of pieces. So I'm going to give you both. I'm going to do both styles. I'm going to put some in without cutting, and I'm going to put some in that I have cut. So I'll go kind of long, short, long, short. Doesn't really matter where you start. But if you leave it long, you can always have the option to make it a little bit wider if you choose to. But for the most part, your pine should cover your wreath. And then I have another piece. This is my short one that I cut. I'm going to stick it in right after my long piece.
You ever throw pine cones at your sibling, at your sister?
Yeah. Hillbilly grenades.
Hillbilly grenades.
Yeah.
That's what these are, in case you didn't know.
Well, only because she threw them at me first.
So she started it?
Yes.
Yeah. My brother probably threw them at me first. He was older. Your sister's older.
Right.
So.
We threw that. We also threw magnolia buds.
Threw magnolia buds at each other?
When they look like pine cones, before they bloom. They're this big pie looking thing. Yeah, those hurt.
And these are actually natural pine cones.
Those are.
They're not artificial. They're real pine cones. So the variation in those are going to vary when you get them. Because they come straight from nature. They're not a mold or something that's been pieced together.
Yeah, this is like a a small sugar pine cone, and these are more of like these are almost like a small strokeless pine cone. I'm not 100% sure.
So many pine cones.
So we have our pine wreath made. That was fairly simple. It was fairly quick, it took less than 5 minutes. So one, keep in mind that even if you don't have a pine wreath, you can always make a pine wreath if you've got some pine sprays and a grapevine wreath laying around, which I always seem to have. So there's option one, is you can just make a pine wreath, but we're gonna add some other things into it to make it just a little bit more natural and have a little bit more texture and some different appeal to it. The first thing we're going to add is we're going to add some of our Magnolia spray, which is, again, another thing that a lot of people think of as just something they can use at the holidays. Maybe not so much. It's lost a little bit of its holiday stigma, but we use a lot of it all year long here in the South, and we're going to use some in this wreath. Now, once you have your stem in, you might want to adjust some of these leaves. So I'm going to put some of my magnolia back behind the pine, but I want some of it to overlap some of the pine so that it looks like it's naturally kind of grown into that mixture and that it's not just the magnolia sitting on top of the pine.
So this wreath looks great the way it is, with just the pine and the pine cone and the magnolia. But the David Christopher's way is there's always room.
There's always room for more.
So I know you have more things to add. Why don't you tell us what's next?
So next I'm going to add a little bit of this seeded mountain ash just to get a little different color. This actually has a little bit of like almost a plum coloration in the leaves and the berries, and I think that's going to break up some of the green that's going around in our wreath.
Yeah, because it is a lot of green.
But it is beautiful the way it is. So you could have something like this. This would work really well for Christmas if you put a red bow in the middle of it. Then it looks Christmassy.
I've always read that if you're super intelligent, green is your favorite color. You ever heard that?
I have heard that.
I have no idea why that would be true, but I've heard it. I like green. I think it's beautiful.
I saw a video that said that blue eyes made you smarter.
Ooh.
And I thought, I don't need to tell Jen that.
Wow.
Because your eyes are super blue.
They are.
And mine are super dark. They're almost black.
I have to show everyone your eyes now.
Yeah, it's creepy. I know.
So this wreath is good to go just like it is if you wanted to use it. But if you want to dress it up for fall, you have a couple of different picks that you're going to add, right? Just a few things.
So I'm going to use some of this paper pine that's in this light green with just a little hint of orange on it. And I'm going to tuck that in.
And this paper pine is actually going to be available to ship
later.
A little bit later.
I just cannot wait for fall, so I'm going ahead and getting started because I have samples and I get to.
So this, if you wanted to order this paper pine, or we have an assortment of fall picks, which you get one of each of these in a pack, then you can pre-order those if you're watching this video before
I don't know, they'll probably be in sometime in August.
We're hoping to get these in August 2021. So if you want to pre-order them and be on the list to be the first to get some of these pieces, you can do that. Just know that these 3 pieces are not going to ship until they arrive in our warehouse. So it's going to be maybe mid to late August. You're probably not going to need them before then anyway, but just so you know, okay? So I'll give you your picks back. Thanks.
But this is a great way that you can actually add some things in, like these pumpkin picks. And then later in the year, if you decide you want to keep your wreath and just use the green part, you can pull those out and not have to have the entire thing be fall. Because I like to use a lot of these picks like this and then just adjust after the season. So this is a new ribbon that is not in yet. This will be in probably in August when fall picks come in. And I think this works really well to give us some of that burnt orange and some of that yellow with giving a little brighter color green. And I'm going to tie a little bow out of this for our wreath.
You can add any ribbon that you want. This is just one that we have here. We're getting in lots of new ribbon. How many different styles?
I have no idea. Too many to count.
David loves the ribbon and goes a little crazy with it every year. So we'll be showing you more ribbon as we get into the season. But we hope you enjoy this little fall teaser. You can start with the Evergreen Wreath now. You can buy the items to make that yourself, or we can make it for you and ship it to you, or you can pick it up at our store in Sheffield, Alabama, or you can pre-order these things to add to it, the grass and the pumpkin picks. So check out the description box for all the details if you missed anything. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Make Something with David.
Yeah.
So, we'll go with that. We'll see you next time.